Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie. Nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami, a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy. I musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom, to jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz, że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej, by być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni, nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces.
Okej, witamy wszystkich na kolejnej porcji plazmatycznej wiedzy. To już są 310 warsztaty poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku polskim. Spotykamy się jak co czwartek i co niedzielę o 21 godzinie, omawiając na bieżąco te warsztaty, które są puszczane w języku angielskim w czwartki rano, czyli dzisiaj rano mieliśmy 302 już warsztat poszukiwaczy wiedzy. My dzisiaj dokończamy 300, w niedzielę będziemy zaczynać 301, także zawsze jesteśmy ten tydzień, półtora, można powiedzieć, do tyłu za warsztatami, ale oczywiście potrzebny jest tutaj czas na przetłumaczenie tego wszystkiego, więc jesteśmy w miarę na bieżąco, tyle ile możemy być. Także dzisiaj mamy, tak jak już mówiłem, drugą połowę, czyli od godziny 50 do 3:49 300 warsztatu. Ja sobie tu zerknę, zaraz załaduję wideo i będziemy zaczynać. Okay, jeszcze chwila i zaczynamy.
So next time when you raise such a question, understand how misguided you are in putting the question this way. And in so many ways, it would have been worse if we were not here. Unify.
This has a question in the YouTube.
Go when we bombed it to smithereens. What they need.
Mr. Keshe, Chris has a question in the YouTube here that relates. He says, my question relates to the fact that the soul is in a state of wisdom and peace. Why does this not reflect in the physical?
Because you have a dimension of the interaction of the field forces of the soul of this planet. This is wrong with it. These two combination creates mayhem of the problems. You react to the soul of this planet, to physicality of this planet. I was listening to one of the teachings with Jalal yesterday, the day before, and he says if apple become gold and chicken lays a golden egg, the soul of the physicality of this planet has interacted to its dimension of attraction to create this mayhem. If we raise the level of the soul of this planet, that in that interaction with the soul of the man, the greed, the killing and everything else goes, that it can tap into the universal energy, then none of this will exist. The problem is with the soul of this planet. What sits inside it and how it interacts. The soul of the planet is like the star, and in interaction with the soul of the man, like what you see, you create rain, you create hell. And this is the hell which this interaction with the soul of this planet, with the soul of the man creates. We never have this anywhere in the universe. Does not matter what we change with the soul of the man. Our work at the moment is to raise the soul of this planet. You don't understand, it's beyond man's comprehension. But it's like an electron and a proton. The two somehow have interacted that we cannot release one with the other. But we can gradually, as is happening now, changing that position. You will understand very soon. We don't see the greed, the killing just in mankind that they say reptilians came and did all these things. What about the fishes? Why do the lions kill? Did the reptilians become lions or they become whales on the fishes? Is the interaction of the soul of this planet which creates this mayhem. We have two choices. Let it go right in or push it in right in. It's very simple. This doesn't matter what I put here, I get the same thing. You do not understand what problem exists in universal community with those souls who reside here for a long time. This is what is wrong, and if you listen to the teaching, I've referred to this many, many times. It's the same as you have the interaction of the soul of one of these big stars in the solar system, that in interaction with the same field of the sun creates mayhem of heat, temperature, or thunder, and always danger. The problem is not only sits in the soul of this planet, the soul of this solar system has a bigger problem. When mankind become educated slightly more, we'll understand the way the tilting of this planet has caused the creation of life. The solar system of mankind has a tilt in it, and that's part of the problem too. This is one of the biggest problems. The mother is sick, so genetically is inherited by the soul, which creates the soul of the man. And the interaction of more creates more mayhem. This is why we tell you, create a just and correct soul, that in time of the departure, in becoming a star in the universe, you do not cause the mayhem which is here at sea. As I said, I opened the eye of the man to many facts, but be ready to be honest to accept it, but be honest to understand. In reality, there is not much you can do with it unless those souls who want to elevate to understand this, and in a way you come from a violent home. Drugs, addictions, alcoholism, and everything else. And you want nothing to do with this home because it's nothing but pain. You walk away, you set up a new home, and you live by your own ethos of peace, and you never talk about it. This is the opportunity at this moment we're giving to some of the men who can, who want to leave this mayhem of violence on this planet behind. You do not understand what we put on the table because you're still looking on the bank accounts and looking how to have the food the next day. The best choice we have is what we have offered you as the universal units. At least we give you a new dimension, a womb, a new start for those who elevate to find a way out of this mayhem of the drug addiction, murder killing society of man and this planet. Now that we have opened these systems, you will understand more. Why and the reason. This is one of the ways we see to free man from the shackles of the murder and killing, that we can take him out in the space as a part of universal community. I cannot put all the fishes in it. I cannot change the structure of the soul of this planet. But I can help it to go in faster. Believe you me, if we get rid of this planet back into its center, no one in the universe will shed a tear. Maybe it'll be rejoiced that all this animal behavior is over. The behavior and the life of man on this planet is one of the biggest shame for universal community. And we had to find a solution. And now we see this as a best solution, that the soul changes and your one understands the soul. Now you understand why I say I'm ashamed to be in the clothes of the man. But I have to be here to bring the change and do. And I've seen more shame, so I've taken a new position in life. Any other question?
Maria continues with asking, is the soul of the planet asking for a change into the higher soul existing and let their old body go?
The soul of, you have to understand what the soul of planet is. Is the collection of the fields of the totality of the, what we call souls of entities on this planet. Being a stone, being a fish, being a being. The collective soul of the cells of the man creates the soul of the man. And it cannot be any different with a planet.
Mr. Keshe, would that be what we call Mother Nature or Mother Earth? Is that, or is that a different designation?
The problem is, yeah, maybe you can call it that way. Mother Earth has a wrong combination of the womb structure, as I put it that way. You know, the story of the mothers who give birth to the children and then they try to kill their children. This is the problem with this Mother Earth. It gives nourishment and life to the soul of his own creatures and his own creation, and then it let them suffer and then they kill for it. This is one of the biggest problems. As I said before, these new structures and knowledge which we release in the coming months will make a lot of you make a decision on their lives. I have not come through the front door. I have come through the back door, through the soul of the man. I have taken a position of life of physicality which keeps me at peace. And I can walk away from all the mistakes of the past. You will soon understand. This physical life of the man has been nothing but essence of the problem for himself and with it for the others. But he can walk away from it. His choice now is yours. You can choose. You can choose to elevate your soul, that the condition of the physicality changes. But you have to clean up the past, because that will still be the chain holding you to the dimension of physicality. And you cannot ignore that chain. It has a length and it has a strength. I was born a free man. I'll die a free man. Free in the dimension of the soul, not the physicality. This is what you have to understand. I open more and more knowledge in next, as I said. But those of you who enter these, what we call the space of the system, gradually people understand the changes. Gradually people see the reality of their own life. Gradually people understand the interaction of the soul of the man with it. And then mankind has a choice. When you understood the level of your strength of operation of your soul, and you understand the position of plasmatic fields, do you need or do you want a spaceship? Now you understand. You remember the magnets Rick used to play some times ago on the screen? When you move one, the other one moves, and if you change the strength of one, the other one attracts to. Now, understanding of the strength, the truth about your soul, gives you that option. It's you who decides which layer of the onion you use, to what distance you create, and what clothes you want to show. Oh, teaching from now on is going to become so simple, because this is the teaching of the universe, and this is where I come from. Any other question?
We did have a couple of questions from Bente.
Yes. Rick?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, on the
John?
Spanish side, I've been asked to question what is why is the Earth problem? Where does it come from? Is it because of the inclination of its axle?
It's because of his soul, the way it was created. It's, you know, when you have a limping man, why did he become limp? Was he born limp, or did he break his leg and became limp? This planet was born limp because the wrong soul took in position. This is why we tell you to understand the operation of your soul. John?
Yes?
I hear we see you in Brazil next week.
Yes, thank you. Yeah,
Thank you
we'll
very
meet
much.
there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Keshe, good morning. It's Caroline.
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes. I think the whole universe can hear you by now.
Loud and clear.
Good morning. Yes, I was just about to ask the same question as John passed through from one of the Spanish knowledge seekers. If the soul of the planet, let's say, as you said, came into through a cripple positioning or creation, how can we, because you promised that we would elevate the planet so that humanity would no longer need to suffer from this position of the planet. As we are belonging to the planet, how can we support the planet in that way than to support us to become more balanced? And okay, thank you very much for all the knowledge you have been giving to us and sharing, and these systems and the new knowledge that will be released, and especially the soul teaching about the universe will be so gorgeous. But where can we help and support you in this task, please?
You don't support me, you support mankind. We are here just to make you aware of the problem. I have to rephrase this so that you understand correctly. In understanding of the work of the plasma, we always said that the stronger give to the weaker, that the weaker become balanced, not more than, but in balance with the stronger. So it's elevated. Now you understand my work. The collective soul of the mankind and creation on this planet, if collectively reaches the point of maturity of peace and understanding of collectiveness of one, then it becomes strong enough plasma condition that it can feed the soul of the planet to change the planet to the level of the peacefulness of the man. Now you understand my work. The faster the human race collectively, that's what I kept on telling you. you have not reached that critical mass. So you have to put more out of your own pocket. When you need 10 people to move a car, and it's 5 of you, you need to put more energy to pull that car than it was for 10 of you. Now it's the same position. Maybe for the first time you understand. The work, my work as a messenger of the Creator, as a creator, is very simple. To raise the soul of the man's strength collectively, that instead of having 28 billion with 7-8 billion you can do, is to make mankind aware of the higher strength of his soul, that collectively, when you become one, you become stronger than the soul of the planet, that through the understanding of the transfer of the plasma, you change the soul of the planet. There is no other way to do it. And then peace shall come. So mankind has to become peaceful in understanding amongst itself. Then through understanding of the truth, understanding of the work of the soul of mankind as one, in collectively becoming stronger by using a higher level of understanding, especially with this universal system we have put out, that you become a stronger soul as one nation, one planet. Why do you think this is for? One soul. Then you understand. The soul of one man working as one, being stronger than the soul of the earth, will change it, will feed it, and the whole thing moves to the right position. Souls from outside cannot do this because you are created from it. It's you who has to put it in to change it. The combination of the field of this planet has led to the creation of you. It's a proton and electron. Now you understand.
So, Mr. Keshe, can you hear me, Mr. Keshe?
Yes, Mrs. Keshe.
So, because one of the questions came up into the teaching that people were most probably misunderstanding, and I tried to explain it, I hope it's correct, was that one man, one soul can change or bring peace on this planet. And I said, most probably you have misunderstood and thought it was just one single man that could do it. But I explained that it was the totality of humanity as one soul.
One single man can do. If one single man has the strength of the 7 billion, he can do it.
Correctly.
But the thing is, to the greed of the man, which man is there to sacrifice? But would it change the totality of the soul? Because, as I said, we need to change the whole of mankind, not just one piece at a time. The biggest problem for mankind to move into the position of understanding of one soul is the leaders of this planet, the kings, the emperors, those who call themselves the world leaders. Till those are not removed, mankind will not find peace, because he always has somebody bigger or more important, somebody who's higher. Mankind has to learn, like the rest of universal community, equality, balance, no kingship, no higher than anyone else. How many, as I explained to one of the knowledge seekers very recently, how much property has been offered to the foundation? Millions. how much titles we've been put to change, uncountable, all has been refused. I live amongst men like men. If I claim not to be any more kingship, how can I make a king out of myself? I live what I preach. Wealth of this planet not worth collecting. It's nothing. All these structures we put in, global, cash foundations, is to be able to finance, to put the structures that we can elevate the soul of the man. There's no other way to do it, because otherwise I become that one soul to pull all and you break because you haven't done it. Mankind has to reach this point. Kings have to put their crowns on the table. It says we are ordinary people, we are not any different. We're getting to that point. Give me a few more weeks. One of our advisors last night was telling me, what's the use? Why have we gone into global into operation? I said, you don't understand. Fox News and the Belgian government and the rest of the governments has put a boycott on Keshe Foundation. No one can report. No problem. Arman has been killing me for 2 years. We have to go. We bought the company. Let's go to the market. Let's do the books. I said, no. When I came back from China, I said, Arman, do. But everybody is expecting the shares to go to 20, 30. No. I wanted the shares to go to 1 cent. My plan for global is 1 cent share, 2 cent share. Do you know why? Because these millions of shares in the market is bought by international pension companies and many others. They bought at 20 cents. They see the technology worth billions. Why is it at such a low level? Why there's a problem with OTC? And who put this shit about Keshe Foundation on the internet? Now I don't need to fight. Big law firms in America, big institutions who have bought the shares are fighting. The share money we have is not 2 cents, it's $2, $10. I don't need to fight. Let them fight with each other. You will see what's going to happen to the Keshe Foundation. It's the greed of the man which gives me the position I need. I don't need to fight the criminal cases in Belgium. They put a fraud case in, they're going to take it and put it where they know fits. The international organizations are overrunning what they call those criminals in Belgium. Not me anymore. Nobody understood why at this point I agreed for Mark-Ray to go into operation. Because people are greedy and they want their money. They bought the share because it's cheap, they're going to make much, but it's not going much because of something which is a lie and a cheat and put in by a man who's murdered many people and abused many children called Red Circle. I told you, his daughter doesn't take his grandchildren with them because he already abused the daughters. Our understanding, you got Red Circles and his grandchildren and his children. They're all in the same boat. And then you understand, these people who invested, they bought shares to show big, and they expect the shares to be at $10, they bought cheap. Now they're fighting with the Americans and the rest. This should be the right price. That's what I wanted. I achieved what I wanted, but people like Armin and the others couldn't see it. I'm very clever. I know what I'm doing and I know how I can play the game. Now the institutions and the rest see Keshe Foundation delivering systems for 150,000, a million, and global is suffering with nothing. They could ask questions, how come? Who do you think they're going to go for? Keshe Foundation becoming a big organization through Austrian and the other corporations, and global arm suffering. Their shares now going up. What is wrong? I use the greed of the man to destroy the man and the kingship. Now you understand. Now you will understand how I play the game at the right time. Don't forget, as I always say, I was born in the beautiful physical land of Iran, and we are one of the best chess players. See who's going to be checkmated. I put the news, the machine for millions, and the American government comes to me and says, show us, you said millions, show us. We provided the invoices and the bank accounts. But why is it this? For the problem which sits king. The palaces of the kings of Europe will be set on fire by their own kings, not by the nation. I had no intention to sell shares, but I had every intention to end the kingship. I was given the tool and I played it. Mankind has to realize it's all equal in the level of the soul of the man. Mankind has to understand, has to be correct with his own conduct. When I sleep at night, I have no worries. Doesn't matter what people say, because I don't go out to do harm. I go out not to harm my physicality and my soul. And that's my job. Thou shalt not steal. I don't allow no one stealing from my soul or physicality. And those who think they've done, they can sleep in their dreamland. Because when I move, you have to find your position. It's very simple, the sooner you understand. Let me finish with a couple of governments, and then you understand how I work. The Keshe Foundation Arizona is paid by knowledge seekers, 10 units. We are there to make sure it happens the right way. Because the soul of the man is correct. The Keshe Foundation in Italy, set up from the beginning, was set with the wrong man, but I had to watch it as the structure of the soul of Italy. And we saw what happened. You think I'm going to forget? I teach all those who went to the wrong bed, mark my word. But I need a few more days, not weeks. You got to understand what I see, not what I do. With what happened in Italy, many of Keshe Foundation suffered. Many of you as people who bought from the foundation suffered. Who do you think is going to pay for this suffering? The soul of those who stole. You watch. All these has to be answered. Doesn't matter what frog you wear. All those who are aligned with whatever you remember what I said in the teaching very long time ago. The man who shoots the bullet pays with his soul as much as the man who designed, manufactured, sold, and handled the bullet. Those who betray the foundation will pay through it. And they thought they are correct. With their lives, with their wives, with their children. You watch. Write the history of the distributors of the Keshe Foundation. The same as they wrote about the life of Bob and those who executed it. There is no difference. There was a bullet, this was the trust. We gave the trust of the foundation, the heartbeat of the foundation to those who we trusted. They betrayed. And those who went to bed with them. You watch, write about the history of the distributors of the foundation. You will learn, see how their wives and their lives will go to the wall. Cancer, it happens. Why it happened? Because many of those as foundation supporters suffered with it, truly suffered with it. You think it's going to be fun? You watch. But I'm ruthless when I dish out from the soul of the man. I give so much that the soul cannot handle. Generosity is your problem in what I call destruction of yourself. I know exactly precisely what is happening everywhere. But as I say, you know, you've been to the, what do you call the circus? And then you have a clown which jumps everywhere and does everything. But if you look, he knows about the trade of the lion tamer and the guy who goes on the rope and everything else. He's more knowledgeable than everybody else because he has the knowledge of everything. Of that clown, but in the soul of the Creator, in the physicality of the man. You watch. Thou shalt not steal. Those of you who are distributors and lined up, you should have said no. Foundation stands. You took a decision. You will balance your books, not me. Just watch your children, your family, and how you disintegrate. You will try to disintegrate the foundation backbone, the lifeline, and you thought you were very clever, and you fell for the talk of a fool. You made the decision. You made the bed. You will sleep in it. You got to realize, I play with billions, they play with pennies. I hope I made a lot of things clear for a lot of you today. This is how it's going to be from now on. Making a company, taking all the customers of the foundation to that company and showing the company doesn't make money and then putting it, trying to put it in the bankruptcy and everything else to show we are wrong. Long way coming. Those who went to bed with them will pay with their own soul, because your behavior hurted a lot of Keshe Foundation supporters, a lot of souls who had trust in us. You're afraid I go to the government? You'd be afraid what I do to your souls. Your soul does to itself, because I do nothing but nourish it. Then it brings you to you. It's the same as the soul of this planet. If any of you buys from any of the distributors who associate themselves with this group, you're another criminal. You become the man who shot. If you go and look in how many people suffered because of this. Keshe Foundation in Italy and Ghana was put to become the backbone of creation, the starting of the peace. It was financed by us as knowledge seekers, as people who work for peace, and they thought they stole it. Before, thieves paid by prison. This time, thieves pay by their soul, and it's much worse than prison. This time, we don't need government, we already governed. Any of you buy anything from the distributors connected to Italy, you are another bullet man. You have become part of the criminality. We don't touch them, but people have to understand. I'll open a lot of books for you. Do you know what is the funny thing? They brought the company by taking everything to another company that Keshe Foundation doesn't sell. They took all the customers, all the distributors to themselves, and then they went and claimed that nobody can pay us our wages. This is a fraud criminal offense by any nation. Bringing a company with assets to bankruptcy and taking it while it was operating is a criminal offense. I don't need to do anything. But I don't go that way. I go through the soul of the man. Watch the space and see what happens to the distributors who betray the foundation. You sell 100,000 a month. We sell 1 unit, $1 million. We are richer. The foundation is stronger. But you distributors who betrayed us, look at your children, your wife, and your family. You created mayhem for the foundation people. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Stay there, and you see. Even for loot, you got looted. I explain these things very clearly from now that you all understand. I don't need nothing from this planet. I can close shop tomorrow. But I am, and I'm in love with the soul of this planet and the soul which this soul has created. And that worth living for. At least till you change, man. You have to understand, we need, the same as the kings, for people to understand what they do. And then we understand the correct conduct. Then we have a peaceful soul. Then we understand the totality. As I told you, we enter a new structure through the universal understanding. So we have to clean up all this mess by the man himself. That we create a strong soul enough of the man that is stronger than the soul of this planet, that he can change it, that he can change the rest. The lions, the kings, the fish, and the wolves, and the rest. I have no desire, whatever happens to the foundation in the matter world. My work is in the soul of the foundation, in changing the foundation the correct way. Because it's the foundation of humanity, not the Keshe Foundation. My job is to change the essence of it, that it goes in the right foundation, that it changes the soul of this planet, that in the universe we can bring you in as a family. But as a magician, I have to play many games to keep you interested, that you understand, and gradually, one by one, the souls elevate. As I said, we can give you thousands of pages, many, many things. If you don't understand it, is, as I say, book on the back of a donkey, cannot read it, does not understand it, just carries it. We have a beautiful saying for us. We say, Kitab wa savar khari olaq kardim. We put the book on the saddle of the donkey, he just carries it, doesn't know what's in it, does it? Man should not be a donkey, man should be the book. Any other question?
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. We had a couple of other questions in the Q&A. One from Boris. What is the position of our magravs that we have built?
What do you mean by position? The magrav is the key to man's freedom in elevating his soul. What you call Alex bead is the operation of the soul of the man in understanding of the totality. In your life, you come across very few pure souls, and Alex is one of them. And in so many ways, through his purity of his soul, he has understood the work of the universe. But through the lack of a knowledge of the physical physics, he releases his knowledge and his understanding in a different way. If you understand the work of the Magrav system in true essence, this was the dream of Tesla. Tesla always had this dilemma that he did not understand the essence of the creation. But he wanted to change and create that condition of creation. In so many ways, Da Vinci ran into the same problem. So he could see, but he went for the physicality because he could not satisfy the knowledge of the soul. And he started carving and opening, trying to find. He didn't open the body of the man so much to find the structure of physicality. He looked for the soul of the man. He couldn't understand where the soul is. In this process, man made a lot of mistakes. But if you understand the true essence of the Magrav system, is the true essence of the creation. In any dimension, be it the physical structure of the man, be it the physical structure of this planet, It's the work of the universe. But because you do not understand, we get all the mayhem with it. And you know me, I'm the worst teacher, but I'm the best in what I call a tester. I don't like to teach to be copycatted, because then there is no elevation of the soul, understanding of the truth. Many people I see, oh, we found the secret, this. You're looking into the physical dimension of the Maghreb. Understand the essence of its structure. Understand its power. That's where the problem comes. Give me 2 seconds and make the Maghrebs, every single one of them, 1 megawatt power station. But I know what to do. Why should I teach you? Because then it becomes cheat, it's the habit of the man. We have a beautiful word in Farsi, we call it taqallub, which means I want to cheat, and do, but don't want to understand. And they do that in exams, huh? They take a piece of paper in their pockets, they write it in their arms, they put it in the calculator, and at the end of it, we call it tajdeed. The ones who sit, don't fail the first exam, they have to sit at the end of the summer for the exam again. And this is the habit of the man. We cheat, and then we try to patch up. The thing is, you are tested continuously. It's you who have to understand it. And as I said, all these distributors with the Keshe Foundation, they were tested, they failed. The greed took them, but now we pass it on to their souls. But as I said, all their members, all their families are part of it, because that food was shared, what they stole from the soul of the Keshe Foundation, shared with their loved ones, so they have to pay for it. Write the history of those who worked with that team, and then you will understand. This is not to put you in fear. This is for you to understand how to behave correct. You didn't become supporters on the Keshe Foundation. You came here to believe in the belief you had. So you sold your belief for a few pennies, then you have to go on, as we say, sit for the exam again. But this time you'll be tested through, as our wish, with your family. Let's see how you pass this one. It's very harsh, but as I said, my job is to help, to support, and to make example. This is how mankind unifies.
Mr. Keshe, can you take another question?
Yeah.
From Bente, regarding the Universal Body Enhancement Space Unit, first of all, she's wondering if there's a difference between high energy particles and high energy packs, and then can this Universal Body Enhancement Space Unit protect from either these high energy particles or high energy packs?
Can you, I lost you, you said protect what? Can you repeat? I lost you after the protect.
Right. Can the Universal Body Enhancement Space Unit protect the body and soul from high energy particles and or high energy packs during space travel?
You have to understand what is the difference between energy pack and energy particle. When you have a particle, you have become in a matter state. So then you have to deal with the physicality of the matter. When you deal with the energy packs, then you have two things. You have one to do with at what level energy that is. Does it touch the energy of the physical strength or the physical soul, or is it strong enough to interact with the level of the strength of the soul of the man? So when you talk about energy particles, it's at the matter state, so it has to go through its normal interaction of releasing energy and absorbing energy and finding a balance. Would that in that process create changes in the physical dimension? That depends on the strength of the field or the particle. In respect to the soul of the man, if you understand the operation of the soul of the man, which is like, as I said, onion layers, you will absorb the fields in the strength of each layer. So in a way, the soul has its own way of nourishing itself. The fields of the universe are absorbed at all levels, otherwise the center will be empty soon. So what it is at the field strength, as is the plasma, it handles a different strength. In operations, some tests we do, actually, even in past few days in the lab, as you know, I've become a lab rat, they call it. I'm back in developing, what do you call it, extending the knowledge of the man in physicality. We have sensors, and at the boards, in the same environment, we're measuring the strength. To a normal knowledge person, you just go for one strength and that's it. But because we have multiple senses, we see fields at the higher strength in the same position too, coming from the same sources. So it's very easy to, this always, you find out the questions you put in always comes with the time of that. It's like your soul is aware of the knowledge. Now you want to bring the knowledge which I don't give you in a physical dimension. Your soul brings it and we have to answer it in physical dimension. It happens more or less 80% of the time you lot put questions in. Because now you're just the mouth for the word of the knowledge, the soul of the knowledge which has been shared. You will understand soon what it works and how it works. So we have done this. We have actually, we are testing this with different sensors in the same point. From the same plasma, we're getting different strength. Of course it does. Because as I said, the strength of the fields is depending on the strength of the spectrum and what the spectrum you sit at, what the strength. Yes, is multi-strength. It's, if you look at the back of the book number, I think 3, The Creation of Universe, is clearly stated. This is how in the world of the theoretical physics, we call it kryptons, down clock, up clocks, we call it Earth, Moon, Saturn, Jupiter, or we call it Milky Way in a bigger scale, or the other one. It's the manifestation of the field strength. And what the machine do depends how you go in and what you expect from the machine. The machine is a lover. And it can only give as much as it can receive and no more. It's not a taker. So if you think you can go and expect, I want to become this, you have already lowered yourself that you will not reach that point. If you go in the dimension of I give, you have to receive more because you have given. But you cannot do it with the intention because, as I told you, the machine understands the soul of the man. Any other question?
Yes, we have one more question from Bente regarding the enhancement unit.
Would you like to explain to everyone who Bente is? She's one of the oldest knowledge seekers. I think she's in her 80s, am I correct?
Well, her late 70s, I believe.
70s.
Yeah.
And she's very knowledgeable, and she tries to squeeze everything out of the knowledge that she's doing something with it, but we don't know what yet.
Well,
adding to her soul, adding to her knowledge is very nice to hear from her. And she keeps on pushing for questions.
Yeah,
I think she has a problem a little bit with the soul, but it's okay. She's trying to find out what's going to happen to her soul, but it's good.
Yes, well, she's aware of that, but she does get involved with the questions like about salts and the various physicality things in a way. But she's always going back to the previous teachings and extracting even more levels of understanding from the same things. She got one level at a certain point, and then her level of understanding changes, and she goes back and she rereads the same things or re-listens to the same things you said or wrote before, and gets a new understanding of it, and not just once or twice, but several times through. And regarding the salts, for example, her understanding is changing all the time. So this is an example of someone, despite being in the older part of her life, is a learner. She's a true knowledge seeker that's always trying to increase her knowledge and trying to let other people know and interact and try to make use of the technology and so on as well. So it's nice to see, and it's very encouraging. So she asks, second question about the enhancement unit. How does it balance the body back to original, as the body consists of a large variety of ganses and salts?
Would you like to answer it? I gave you the answer before the beginning. Let's examine you, Mr. Recruitment.
Well, you said there's that the physicality, or I'm not sure actually the physicality, but you said there's a control room or control panel, and that's the important thing to remember inside of ourselves. And I'm not talking about a control panel on the unit, but on the control is in us, basically. And we can learn to create the conditions that we need. I'm putting more into it there, but basically you mentioned control panel, I believe.
In a way, yes. Our body has a control system. The same as when you cut a piece of skin from your finger and then it grows back again, and you just say, oh, I used to have a cut here, but I don't see it anymore. The finger is the same as before. So the body, the brain, the soul of the man has a memory of the shape of the body of the man. Doesn't need it to be there to build to it. It builds to it according to the strength of its fields. So there is a structure, a memory of the soul as much as the physicality, because every soul, every cell in the finger which you cut and throw it away, in the salad, for example, it's happened many times to me. My children say, oh, Papa's finger is here, this part of his body is with us, he made a mistake. So this building of the physical condition to the boundary which it was before does not happen coincidentally. there is a memory bank, both for the physical dimension and the soul of the cell. So, in a way, our body has dual structure of remembering the soul, which it needs that position, and the what we call the physicality, which is needed to build that finger, for example. So, in that process, when you understand, we walk through the soul, through the higher level fields of this system, this machine, then you understand when you go to these systems, you have to match that bank, that reference point of a strength. And this is how you find balance. It's not that the machine remembers, but you got to understand the machine has a soul too. These new systems we have built, not even the first generation, the second generation, which is the ones you will see, as we call it, a lot of people call it the egg now, these enhancer systems, that's what they do. They have a point of reference, and the two have to be in balance. You have a universe, and you have two twin stars. The soul of the man is the universe. The soul of physicality and the point of manifestation of the cell, of the soul of the cell, is that twin star. One is unbalanced, by elevating one, the other one becomes balanced. We don't carry something from outside to put in. We understand the inner operation of the soul of the man, the physicality of the man. And then when the soul of physicality is in balance or is unbalanced, with receiving what the soul of the man gives, it comes in balance and you change. One feeds the other, and the other one. It's like you have the sun, you have the earth, and then from it, interaction, you have the body of the man. It's the same process. We create that condition to bring balance to the one which is weaker, that it becomes balanced with the real one, which is in the memory bank of the soul of the man, or the memory bank of the physicality. The question was asked very recently, would these systems, as we remember last times, would this interfere with the RNA? Yes, it does. It corrects the RNA. This is where we are aiming at, not on the DNA. And when you correct RNA, most of what you call inherited diseases to the balance of the physicality will be resolved. In the case of what you see at the beginning, universal system, the gentleman there's no problem with the condition of physicality, but medical people, the medicine they have used for him, the side effects are so horrendous that it's damaged a lot. But we're still going and we're still repairing, even the physical damage is done by the side effect of the medicine. We don't know these kind of damages in the Western medicine, but now we realize medicine made in China, as I've said before, even generic, especially when it comes to the cases like Parkinson and MS and the rest, these are guinea pigs. Just give it to them, we make money out of it, doesn't matter what it does to them, because they never come back. Now they're coming back. Now pharmaceuticals are answerable. How come they do these kind of damages? The Chinese government has to open a book of the pharmaceuticals, show us the book. How come there is so much damage done? You cannot blame it on the disease. This little dust of chokes, we call them medication, has become one of the biggest robberies of the physicality of the man. Any other question? I would like to thank our Chinese team in the background working and with the case. They're sending me continuously videos because the volunteers are in the hospital as we speak. And it's amazing how the man has changed. How we give life back to him. How he can move again, he can talk again. For the first time yesterday, he has been talking to his wife, having a communication, having a conversation. Then you can imagine what pleasure brings back to your partner.
In that respect, we have a question from G-Man who asks, please explain more about cleaning up the past. It seems like in a way that's part of the process that's going on with this gentleman. He's cleaning up his recent past and sort of working backwards. And isn't that sort of the process in a way? You talk about the seeds when they're exposed to certain ganses, they revert back to their native origins, their genetic heritage, you might say. And in a way, is that the process of going back to the source or back to the womb that you mentioned.
Can you try to explain it?
Well, I'm just trying to think about this idea from G-Man. Maybe he should actually ask it if he's still available, and I'll allow him to speak if he would like to open the microphone. I'm sort of putting words in his mouth, but this idea of cleaning up the past, in other words, something occurred in the past which contributed to the conditions that we find ourselves in now, and that if we clean up that that sort of a knot in our muscle or a glitch in our electrical system, or however you like to present it, some kind of a thing, an event that caused us to start this process of maybe a cancer or some other disease that led to being disabled at some later date, let's say. Or it may be more an emotional basis. Just cleaning up the past allows us to be present.
Hello?
Hello, go ahead, G-Man.
Hi there. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Thank you for all you have done and continuously doing, and everybody else. It was Mr. Keshe's explanation about the planet Earth in that time earlier. He was explaining that how the soul of the planet Earth is crippled, and he mentioned at one point that unless the man in the process cleaning up the past, that's why I raised that question. It's what he meant by that is my question. Cleaning up the past.
What is your understanding?
It's kind of confusing for me because I have been it's been explained by some of the people of certain beliefs that it is there are things that is affects our daily lives and us in a way that is from generations before. So, and I don't have the ability to digest that in a way to understand that. Is that what you meant?
You see, the life of the man is not just a DNA based, it's what we call RNA, or the soul of the man.
Yes.
Yeah. So we call the soul of the physicality RNA. Scientists have not understood that part of it yet. But so as Pajas just said about the what I call about the distributors, the deed will go in the direction of the what you call RNA, in direction of the soul, and in the line has to balance itself. So if the strength was not existing past 200 generations, for what 200 generation was done, and now the strength of such a horrendous act is now available or exists, then now it matches. You understand? It's as simple as that.
Yes.
We pay for the acts of our forefathers, because if they've done such a horrendous thing, and it was so heinous in this structure, that no one at that level up to now was at that level of one receiving that, because magnetic fields only match when they are of the same strength. Now you find out in generation is balances. So balancing of that, it changes direction of the physicality and everything else we see with it. Am I clear? Hello?
I think his microphone might have gotten muted. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay.
There's some background noise. If you can mute when you're not speaking, then that would be great. Thank you.
So this is important for us to understand how it works. It is, I listen to myself many times after teachings, and I hear that important. What I say is important, it is important for you to understand. Otherwise, I don't put it there. The conduct of, the misconduct of, depends on what level of strength you have created. Joy will come back to become joy at that level when your ancestors reach that level of the soul level. And they receive elevation of the soul, because now it matches. And then you find out, we call it in English from rags to riches, not necessarily financially. And then say where it came from. And we have a word which is a blessing from your forefathers. When you get to the point that you can serve humanity, and your physical condition is just a tool to bring pleasure, comfort to other souls, and you're there at that point, partially maybe because what you accumulated, partially is from what your forefathers have done, that they accumulated, they created that peak, now the peak has to match. And then you're the one who achieved that point that you can cash in. It's like you have to add the numbers up. When you get to that number, you get your credit. It's the same with those who do wrong. But through that elevation, who has done that wrong? They pick up your child, hits the mark. Why? One day I write about the history of what happened in Italy, and I make an example of the distributors and what they did to those of the Keshe Foundation who were entrusted that they support to build. Your children and your grandchildren and your wives and yourselves and the people around you will balance the book. That's my wish. I can talk now because I have put everything right. But that's as my responsibility, right? You have to balance your works. You were tested, you failed, and my wish is that you have to balance it with your own bloodline. And my wish is very quick. You were there as trustees. You betrayed the trust. I tell you to come unless and go and rob. Are you a robber? Are you a thief? Or if you join, you have become one. So you know the consequences of it.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
You're welcome.
And we have Jalal with his hand up here. Would you like to jump in, Jalal?
That's why I open my hand. I don't want to jump.
Be careful you don't break your leg.
No, sir. Good day, Mr. Keshe.
Morning, Jalal.
Mr. Keshe said about the enhancement unit. You said it's like a lover gives from where it takes the energy, or
We have
from where
built
it receives.
We have built the universal unit that it receives universal energy. One day mankind will understand. These are the gifts and is the knowledge of universe. You know, if you go to the culture of Iran, we had scientists who with one candle kept the public path, which is like a swimming pool, hot water, that with one candle could boil the water for decades. The bath was going. And the British came to find out how one candle can create such a heat that the whole village or city could go and bath in it every day with hot water. He understood the knowledge of energy transfer. It wasn't the candle. The candle was a myth because man wanted to see something. These systems are the same as that candle. You have to understand the way we construct it, the way it is and built. And the ones which built by me will last the time of the man. Don't forget, as I said, this planet was made by the strong soul, and we see what happens to its citizens. Those who try to copy and do what they don't understand, you will see how they turn up out of these copy machines, what they try to copy. Diseases never existed, and there's something wrong with the machine. Look at it if it says, done by Keshe Foundation, Austria. This time, I don't leave a position for those who are abusive to play games, because it's my responsibility not to let them to abuse, to understand it. Anybody for a nice Iranian tea?
Is it like the difference between what your batches when you do it and the other knowledge seekers batches?
Of course, I carry the soul of the universe. The rest is physicality.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
You will understand very, very soon.
We are in the in the way to understand it.
So far, we're still knowledge seekers. Perhaps we need to become knowledge finders instead.
You never know. Easter is very near. See where you can find the egg in the garden.
Maybe that's our new series, the Knowledge Finders Workshop. Mr. Keshe, is this universal energy that you speak of just now, is that related to what the so-called those who call themselves scientists say, cosmic rays? Or other
Cosmic rays is the totality of the fields of the creation, if you explain it that way. And part of that ray became you and your soul.
And is that what we tie into to be able to access the self-sufficient energy and other
It is.
attributes?
So, of course it is, because put it this way, we are made of it. If we know how to tune to it, to our soul, as we are weaker, it will feed us. This is what a lot of knowledge seekers don't understand. And I keep on saying it, and they say, why do you keep on telling us that? We are not stupid. Because you really don't understand. You have not understood the work of the universe. We have a couple of Iranians who are reaching. Iranians are very soul connected. It becomes part of the Islamic teaching. It brings a lot of things. In Christianity, if you have time on the Sunday, you go to church. In synagogue, you go on a Friday because you have to put the money in if somebody can do business. That's what the synagogues are for, is the business centers. The Muslims, they are reminded to their own submission of weakness 17 times a day. So they become more unaware of their own, what they call, those are true Muslims. Plus his name Muhammad has taught them that way. And they follow that path. And they are very close to their soul. They become aware of their humbleness, but in the way of strength of their soul. And we see the technology has fitted into Yan and Yin with the Chinese, but has found home in the soul of Iran. Because Iranians are not Arabs, which is a totally different structure. Iranians are so much closer to the understanding of the operation of their life. And I see a mass exodus of souls to the Iranian community around the world, because they understand it through the teaching of the Zoroaster, and in a way submission of their lack of understanding of totality through Islam. And gradually mankind will come in large that way. Maybe that's why I was given the line of life to be born in Iran. As I said before, where I lived, where my bed used to be, is the center of one of the biggest prayer places in Tehran, built by Ayatollah Khamenei in the north of Tehran. When I was there the last time, I went to look, and it's just there because I knew where my room was. And they built one of the biggest land, what do you call it, mosques in Iran. And the moment my return to Iran has become a dilemma for the government. Any other question? There is something which I would like to discuss as we are setting up different things. In a way, thanks to the support of Northern Europeans. As we asked the Germans to return one of the systems which was with them, and we asked for a second one, we received a bill for 8,000. We respond the following. The Keshe Foundation Austria as an entity is setting up a clinic with 3 systems. Germany speaking who supported us have to decide, would you like this system in one place in Austria that you can all use, or you like it to be spread across Germany and Austria? This is something which I know sits in German community. You gave us a small gift back, which we gave you as a gift. We are giving you 3 gifts, as is the tradition of the wise men of Iran. So if you, in your discussions, I know you have in the background, decide as a community where you want and how you want these 3 gifts to be shared amongst German community. Do not forget that you have 2 clinics opening. There'll be many clinics. This is the beginning of a lot of work of different patterns, and we are part of all of it. Keshe Foundation stays partner with everything. But as we requested, you returned 1 back. We're giving you 3 back instead to give us a very small thing back, which was out of your sincerity and correct conduct. And we're giving you a bigger gift back. I would like to ask the German community, talk amongst each other and let us know how you want this to be set up, for Germans to travel across to Austria to receive the beauty of this system, or you want to spread it or put it one in amongst the other centers we are opening. As you know, the 2 or 3 centers are to be opened in Germany in January. And it's important for us to return what we call a gift you gave back to us, as we asked you, is now you understand when we told you is obsolete, it's obsolete. And the other unit which is kept to ransom can stay. It'll be a historical thing. And I advise many people not to use it because you understand now the reason for it. And tell us how you want it. You German speaking, German and Austria has to decide. You want to split these 3 across Germany in other clinics, that is part of the foundation, or you want us to collectively put it in one position as part of the center. It still covers the same way as is the ethos of the foundation. Those who can't afford will pay, those who can afford will pay for its use. And those who want to have the pleasures of life with it is there till we can organize it. And in that sense, we need a number of German doctors who are around the foundation to collaborate with us to run these centers from now on. The same goes with the Arizona, what you call health centers, or what we call regeneration centers that you can go to. And we received a lot of inquiries from a lot of you that we can collect part of it. I know my good friend Mark House in Golden Age of Cancer is trying to sort out something. If any of you come to a point, Keshe Foundation will support the rest. There's a reason for it, and it's part of my belief. When people receive a gift free, we get the position we have with Germany. It becomes a problem position. So you always, as I said, when you pay for something, you have respect for it. And as long as it's part of it, the foundation will participate in the rest of it. Many, many people like to share and run, and they can come with part of the finances. We will keep to our reported condition that we'll stay at 150,000 till January 1st, and then we move up to 500,000, and then we move it up to 1 million. The reason for this is to substantially release the factories and the structure we need to build to support the ethos of the foundation. It's not why we are charging 70, 150 or 200. We waited, none of you contributed. As I said, bunch of what do you call it, those who had a first opportunity to have the foundation in the back as distributors, they did. So we don't allow any of the distributors to play with us this way. We distribute the wealth amongst all the knowledge seekers. And so in that way, if you do, we are here to share with you as a foundation. The important for us thing is to be able to build as many factories, as many what we call positions, that each part of this planet is becoming self-sufficient in food and everything else, in agriculture and health. The thing is, we have to create jobs that man does not get bored. And playing these games is like playing what I call the structure to keep people busy. And when you close all these arm factories and you close all these military bases and we have no more soldiers, what are we going to do with billion soldiers and the arm manufacturing companies we have set up? We have to find a job for them or put them on the spaceship and send them into the space. And then they become a problem of the others in the space unless we change their souls too. Yes, my little boy. The understanding is those of you, because we're getting many inquiries that how can I get help? Can I use this system? These systems will be in operation in January 1st at the same time, simultaneously, in the beautiful city of Tehran and in Arizona. I made a commitment that I'll bring peace between two nations, and this is part of my work. And in that way, we, as I said to the Iranian officials in the embassy, they said, Mr. Keshe, if the Iranian scientists go to America, they will come back. So we better do it in Iran, that we keep them, at least become balanced with everything else. So to the wishes of my government, we keep the same way. And we take the beauty of the knowledge back to where it came from. And in so many ways, if you want to have access or to share or be partner, come up with it. We put a bunch of you, don't need to go anywhere else. We're trying to. We make groups which each section, whatever, and foundation become part of it. We become part of your work. And we'll see how we can support you. and how we can build it. Coming with, so we want to have 5,000, 10,000 does not work, because everything has to, at this moment of time, to be paid, to be set up, and you stay in charge of running these things, the people you appoint. We are there to make sure it's done and the knowledge is spread, because it's not just buying the systems, it's knowing how you manage your cases, how you advise, how you run systems. And it comes by what we set up as a central, what we call medical center worldwide, that all the doctors and all the scientists, people who use this technology in their, what we call the centers, have a central position. They can go back to very immediately, 24 hours a day manned with top doctors, scientists that they can support you. And these things will come not in an easy way. It needs to be set up. We are setting up a new world structure. Sharing knowledge, respecting knowledge, at the same time, understanding the application of the knowledge. The Arizona will be set like a very much a spaceship structure, and you understand how that was the wishes of the what do you call the Arizona. They came up with a suggestion and we support it because it can bring a lot of things. And at the same time, we work to change position of governments. In our meeting in different governments with different conferences in the coming time, we are targeting governments directly. We are negotiating with ministers and ambassadors to build the next step. We have a team in the background, that's their job to do. And in a way, we waited for 10 years for you to donate the foundation to become enough to do everything. You did not do, so we set a condition that we donate to ourselves to be able to do what we came here to do. If you say the machine is so expensive, we gave you a generator free, you abused it, you never saw the beauty of it, and you blamed us for maggraph. But one day when I show you how the maggraphs work, you say, my God. But that's your problem, not mine. So we hear a lot of people making complaints at 150,000, now 500,000. You abused us. We are putting it right to be able to do what we came for. We don't make temples and churches, but we make a condition to create peace by the effort of the man. These centers, these factories will run by you for your part of the planet and for the rest of the humanity, to make sure it doesn't become a handout, because we all need a hand to get out of this situation. If you want to, you can put what you say, I have so much to put, and if another person comes, I have so much to put, we put you together, and this is what we see the patch widths. 4 or 5 or 10 of you, foundation puts part of it, and you become part of, and you can help yourself, maybe because you're putting it in, or it becomes part of helping the others, but any income from it becomes your income, as it stands on the structure of the foundation work. We have a lot of people who would like to do something or be part of it, and I see what you call Mark is doing a lot of work. Divert it, send them all back to foundation. We have a solution. We already done this agreement with a number of groups. Those of who come to me, I can pay for 1 full unit. We tell them, let's do for 3. Foundation will put 1/3 in. We support it, we take part of it, and that way we create a solid base health centers with 3, 5, and 10 units. And be structured the way it should be, to be a place that you see the new technology, and in a way, is the way it has to be. So those of you who are asking for, can we use this, how we come, you don't need any more middlemen, no distributors. Write to the foundation, put a case exactly to the foundation, and we put your teams, your people together. Somebody's got so much, someone's got so much. Said this is the package, this is part of what you are together, how much you want to do it, where you want it. Unless you invest for personal, what do you call, interest, that's different. After January, we will go into March, April, and May deliveries. The orders will stack up that we have a certain production limit of that we have to meet, and we try to keep to around about 1,000 to 2,000 a week by midsummer. And what we see, orders from the other structures coming in will keep us busy. That it gives the foundation and its toll, that it brings what we want. We are not short of orders. We are in a way understanding how we can distribute it, that is everywhere, that everybody can benefit by it. But you have to pay this time to structure it how you want it. It's not a macro we can use it at home. It's a system, you put it out for humanity to use it. You have to have that kind of understanding. Now you see how we use the structure and the technology to bring mankind to work collectively for the betterment of not just themselves but the humanity. We're not a charity. We set out to change the structure. You will have 2 centers at the moment, what we see possible in Canada. The Arizona Center, there are a lot of Americans who would like to do something. Go directly to the mother, don't talk to halfway. We respond back to you, we put it together. We have a small understanding of the, what we call refunds, which is created out of betrayals of Italy. We'll cover it in the next few days, in the next couple of weeks. And that'll become a lot of history, but you'll learn how a bunch of thieves have created this position. It's good to know that you understand it's not a problem of the foundation, it's a problem of those who betray the foundation. And you will see how it will go. And it'll be very interesting how it was set up to help all of you, and you are there to help yourselves with the others. No more middlemen. Middlemen have betrayed those who gave them the bread line. And my wish is very simple. With them, they don't understand. Let them be paid by those who love. They will understand very soon what they've done. Because they hurted a lot of those who were in love with the foundation and they gave their life. Teaching of Christ, you're all Christians, those who betrayed. Tooth for a tooth, eye for an eye. But this tooth is very long. Any other question?
We have a question from Ricardo Mansour of Brazil. Was Mr. Keshe influenced by Sufi knowledge?
I know nothing about Sufis. I've seen them dancing, that's all I know. Actually, I have a cousin who's a Sufi.
I thought you mentioned something about Sufis one time.
Yeah,
Past,
I understand the Sufism, but I have no connection with it.
Mm-hmm.
Sufism is the rhythm of the physicality with the stress, with the line of thoughts. In Judaism, you rock. And with it, you put the soul of the man. If you see like a pendulum, you rock your head. Have you seen the Jews, how they rock themselves? There is a scientific reason for it. the two fields of the soul of the man and the soul of physicality cross each other. So the continuously release energy is like a addiction and puts you in that position. Sufism is centralizing the emotion and the soul, the physicality, the soul of physicality and soul of the man in line, if you understand it. And in so many ways, you have one straight line, it's like a volcanic eruption. And you reach a different level of understanding and connection between the soul of the man and the physicality.
Would it be, that would be a way of getting, say, closer to the source, you might say?
No, it's clears the point to getting the higher level, but still has certain dimensions. You see, with the drugs, you touch the physical coordination of the brain, electronic side. With religion, you are supposed to interact between or connect between the soul of physicality and the soul of the man. But all the religions have abused the soul of physicality. Punishment of physicality and the rest. In a way, we moved up to the soul of the man, and that is what you create with the same situation as what I say with the position changing of your own conduct. If somebody goes out to damage you or has done the damage and whatever, you moving to a position to protect yourself from the damages, it allows and creates a new position for the soul. And this has to be understood. This is what you will face in the open spans of the universe. Man has to understand the position of the two, because when you go in the depth of the universe, is you who decides the position of the soul of the physicality through the strength of the soul of the man. It's like the proton and electron. The electron comes inside the proton to make a neutron. And then the neutron decides in what position the electron is going to be and what facility does it make. Is it just one electron positioning with one proton that become a hydrogen, or is the same neutron, but this time the electron has to sit in the outer fourth ring or whatever ring, but it still has the same connection to the same neutron. How weak am I going to make it that it brings the totality in coordination? Is the same hydrogen as a neutron and one electron and proton in plutonium. But why does an electron of one neutron move so far out away and one stays so close? What is the purpose? How do they adjust themselves? How do they accept positioning? And this is what mankind has to understand. Which part of the cluster am I to serve the totality? I have my little boy with me today, and he's cuddling and asleep. He has a gorgeous soul, Mr. Tavakoli, huh? I think that's, you can hear him breathing. He's snoring for himself. He as a gorgeous white soul, the same as his skin in the head. Any other question?
There was a question from Gerard in the live stream earlier. He says, is it correct to say the medical unit is in fact nothing more than an applied physical filter for the soul in the conversion from plasmatic to the matter state?
No. No, it's the reverse. We're trying to get your soul moved. You had enough with physicality. What did you do with it for billions of years? You created more problem for yourself. People who go in these systems will come up different man. You will understand.
So we're moving from the matter state to the plasmatic state rather than the other way around.
Elevation of the soul of the man.
Mr. Keshe?
Yes.
It's Caroline here. A question, please. When we separate from our, what you call the cage as the body of the man, the soul knows where it's positioning itself, yes?
Yeah.
What you're teaching us is that to travel together with the soul and the physicality of the man.
No, I teach you, part of the teaching is to understand you have now a choice of time, place, position, and physicality. And this is the freedom which man never had, and those in the name of the religion who never understood abused it. We will see in the coming time the collapse of all the present religions, very, very shortly. And then in that process, many people lose their, what they call center point of focus, because now it's not there, what we're going to do. Very much what the state of Austria went through in 2004, 2005. And the nation has not recovered from it, it'll never recover from it, where the people have found out that the priests have abused every child more or less in the church. And they used to have 93, 95% attendance of the nation in every Sunday church, and they dropped to 3%. And those 3% are those who are hoping that one day they find a way out of this mess. People become wise to it. And we see 10, 15 years down the line, church has not recovered because now they know the truth, and we see more and more of it coming out around the world, the abuses. And this is the views of children. Very soon people understand churches abuse their souls and their physicality. That's when the mayhem comes. That's when they burn the churches and mosques and the rest down. Because the job of these people was to elevate the souls, not to steal from their souls. It's very much, as I said, with the stock holding in America, with the Macrae, the same thing as those who were in Italy. The balance will come very direct through their own operation. I don't need to do anything. I just know how the system works and I put it in action.
So the freedom of man will come when they start understanding to work as one humanity in a peaceful manner. That is where you're referring to, then they can operate in the universe more freely.
In a way, you have to understand when the man works, when the man elevates as a soul of the man, as totality, then you understand when a man goes onto the moon, the soul of the man goes to the Mars, then he knows he's that electron from the totality and he cannot do wrong, because then he damages or changes the position of totality. Whether I do wrong or I do something in a wrong way as a soul of a representative of the man in this point will damage all those souls back on earth. This is what it is about. Understanding that the damage is just the positioning it. They have to find a new position, and you can see how much souls have all taught us to move and change for one mistake. Because it's the way it is. You put 1,000 magnets on the table and you pick the smallest one on it. You'll see all of them. This is what man has to understand. This is what's the message of the messenger.
Now another question, Mr. Keshe. All the souls that have already separated from the physicality as a soul, you explained to us that they already know the totality of the universe and the understanding of the universe. Is it when man goes to explorations in the physicality to prevent them from doing wrong, when they, let's say, land on planet Moon or somewhere else in the universe, that they always regard that they have to have the correct conduct towards from where they came from, no matter where they were.
And to where they are, both.
Yes, yes, vice versa. But isn't that how it can be explained, that how this planet was created, because you say it's crippled, to prevent that kind of way of creation?
And exactly, that's what it's supposed to do. The planet, put it this way, this solar system is a misfit. And due to his own position and strength. And a misfit has created misfit children. And that misfit children has created misfit grandchildren, which is mankind. That's all it is. We have a beautiful saying for us. We say, if you put one foundation, brick of foundation wrong, doesn't matter, the whole building as you build on it will go on the wrong way because the foundation is wrong. As I said before, I put samples, examples of what it is, write about the history of the life of children, grandchildren, and if goes to grandchildren of Red Circle, and see their position, what will happen to them. Because mankind has learned by reference, and these will become very much like what we say, the guy when Christ says he'll deny me 3 times by morning. And then those who put him on the cross, see what happened to them. They have to live within their souls. Doesn't matter what they write in the pen. Shall we call it a day today? We're nearly 1 o'clock.
Yes, we're in.
Thank you very
Go.
much for today. Our next session, the 301, will come from the beautiful city of Brasilia, where we are for the guests of the Brazilian Keshe Foundation community for the 3-day conference with the officials of the government and the companies. I thank the whole team in the background organizing these things and facilitating all this to happen so smoothly. From there we go to Morocco. We would like to see the Arabic-speaking knowledge seekers in Morocco with us, that we are carried the spirit of, and the Universal Council member of the what we call Arabic-speaking Jamila will be with us in Morocco. And the same when we go to Malta and then Kenya. And of course we will be on the way to Mexico in February. But sometimes in January, we're trying to find the time and the place that I'll be in Tehran for the opening of the first space body, what we call universal system. And at the same time, we try to do the same thing in Arizona and possibly in China. That this time the knowledge is shared simultaneously across the planet. We become at least the creator of the man's peace in the soul level. Thank you very much for today. And please understand, we are here to create peace on this planet, not mayhem of the pieces. That time is over, it's finished. Thank you very much for today.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. And thank you to all the people who participated and asked questions.
Okej, to by było na tyle. To była druga połowa, aż do końca 300. warsztatu poszukiwaczy wiedzy. Jeśli ktoś ma jakieś pytania albo chciałby dodać coś od siebie ze swojego zrozumienia, podzielić się wiedzą, to zapraszam do podnoszenia rąk w górę, otwierania mikrofonów albo pisania na czacie. No dobrze, jeśli nie ma pytań, to może nie zabierając już za dużo czasu, bo dzisiaj mieliśmy dość obszerny fragment tego warsztatu, to postaram się pokrótce, 10 minut, dość szybko streścić tutaj to, co było powiedziane. W zasadzie cała ta część warsztatu kręciła się wokół jednego głównego wątku, czyli tego problemu, który był tutaj poruszany, że dusza tej planety i Układu Słonecznego, że jest w pewien sposób są one, można powiedzieć, skrzywione, czy upośledzone, czy stworzone po prostu z niewłaściwej pozycji w tym procesie elewacji. Myślę, że to można to rozumieć też w taki sposób, skoro nawet w tym wstępie na tym wideo UC, który oglądamy na początku i na końcu każdego warsztatu, tam dr Keshe mówi, że właśnie poza fizycznością widzimy, patrząc okiem duszy, patrząc właśnie z poziomu duszy, to widzimy dusze innych osób jako, a nie ich fizyczność, tym czym się różnią w tej fizyczności. Często to, do czego tutaj dr Keshe nawiązuje w warsztatach, czy też nasz cel, myślę, jako poszukiwacze wiedzy, to jest elewowanie, czyli wznoszenie się, podnoszenie się właśnie w zrozumieniu, w tej wiedzy, w zrozumieniu własnej duszy i w byciu w stanie, żeby operować świadomie na tych, można powiedzieć, kolejnych poziomach zrozumienia, tak jak tutaj dr Keshe mówił o duszy, która jest jak cebula, ale cebula, która absorbuje w każdej z tych warstw, można powiedzieć, bo gdyby każda z tych warstw nie absorbowała pewnego rodzaju energii, to nie byłoby fizyczności tej warstwy, więc to w pewien sposób rozumie się samo przez się i tak jak mówiliśmy wielokrotnie o tym chociażby cyklu kreacji, czyli kolejne wideo, które przez jakiś czas też używaliśmy na wstępie, tam było właśnie o tym cyklu kreacji, rozszerzania się plazmy, zataczania kręgu, można powiedzieć, tej rozwijania się plazmy i wracania jej do źródła, czyli w tym procesie to, co rozumiemy też tutaj przez te nauki, że dusza każdego z nas, mówimy o dołączeniu do uniwersalnej społeczności, mówimy o właśnie o wznoszeniu się na te kolejne wyższe poziomy zrozumienia, więc każdy z nas może też stać się właśnie, jego dusza może wznieść się do poziomu gwiazdy, słońca, czy jakkolwiek to sobie odniesiemy do tej fizyczności, która nas otacza, i tutaj można się doszukiwać, że skoro w ten sposób powstają gwiazdy, czy są to dusze z jednego, można powiedzieć, poziomu zrozumienia, które elewują wznoszą się do wyższego poziomu, do zrozumienia, do wyższej siły, zaczynają operować w coraz tych, można powiedzieć, luźniejszych wymiarach, czy szybszych energiach, czy coraz bliżej środka tego ślimaka, jak sobie to zawsze rysowaliśmy, to jest właśnie naturalny cykl, można powiedzieć, ewolucji, rozpakowywania się też plazmy, albo może w drugą stronę zawijania się jej do środka, skoro mówimy właśnie o rozumieniu coraz to głębszym, czyli zawijaniu się do środka naszej własnej duszy. I tutaj dr Keshe już na samym początku tej części wskazuje, że właśnie rozwiązaniem, sposobem, w jaki on do tego podchodzi, zresztą tutaj nawiązywał, że Irańczycy są doskonałymi graczami w szachy i tutaj to szachowanie, o którym nam tłumaczy, to jest właśnie elewowanie, wznoszenie duszy, totalności całej tej planety, w sensie ludzkości, wszystkich ludzi na niej żyjących, po to, żeby mogła z pozycji silniejszego elewować, znosić duszę tej planety, której czegoś brakuje, bo w tym, można powiedzieć, kaskadowym procesie kreacji ta dusza tej planety urodziła się z pewnego rodzaju wadą, czy daną siłą pól, czy pozycją, czy zrozumieniem, można sobie to tak tłumaczyć, które gdzieś w pewien sposób odziedziczyła po tym, co ją stworzyło, czyli tu możemy mówić na przykład o Układzie Słonecznym, gdzie każda z tych kolejnych elementów czy struktur wywodzi się z poprzedniej, i tak samo tutaj nawiązuje do wątku tego, co było w pierwszej części tego warsztatu, ale też w drugiej, gdzie dr Keshe mówił chociażby na przykładzie tych dystrybutorów we Włoszech, którzy założyli równoległą firmę, ukradli klientów, nie realizowali zamówień, generalnie różne tam rzeczy się działy, o których dowiadujemy się na przestrzeni tego warsztatu. I tutaj, skoro mówimy o tym dziedziczeniu różnego rodzaju cech czy siły pól, tego, można powiedzieć, co przeskrobali nasi przodkowie, czasami nam przychodzi, zresztą są nawet takie powiedzenia, że nam przychodzi w pewien sposób za to płacić, i też jest wiele takich dróg myślenia, które dokładnie w taki sam sposób to tłumaczą. Można to nazywać na przykład karmą, można nazywać to dziedziczeniem poprzez RNA, czyli poprzez właśnie duszę fizyczności, tego, co uzbierały te dusze naszych przodków, naszych ojców, dziadków i tak dalej. I tutaj te dwa wątki tak się przeplatają, jeśli chodzi właśnie o ten problem, który jest tutaj z naszą planetą, i jak to wygląda właśnie w tym cyklu kreacji, gdzie jedno kreuje się z kolejnego i ten bank pamięci, jak to tu było mówione, jest przekazywany dalej. I kolejny z wątków, trzeci taki aspekt, który się wplata, to jest cały czas ta uniwersalna jednostka balansująca ciało, gdzie tutaj dr Keshe tłumaczy, że ona w zasadzie nic nam nie daje, to my musimy wejść w tym warunku dającego, czyli na początku warunku, można powiedzieć, silniejszego, gdzie staramy się swoją szklankę opróżnić, coś dać, ale nie z oczekiwaniem, żeby wziąć z powrotem, bo tak jak to tutaj było tłumaczone, te systemy mają duszę, więc też są w stanie można powiedzieć, zorientować się w takiej sytuacji dość kolokwialnie. Więc tutaj musi być właśnie ta pozycja z angielskiego humbleness, czyli tej pokory, chęci przede wszystkim służenia, i to jest też to hasło przewodnie fundacji, czyli jesteśmy tutaj po to, żeby służyć, a nie żeby nam służono, i właśnie ta pozycja, ten warunek opróżniania, można powiedzieć w cudzysłowie, swojej szklanki tworzy tą pustą przestrzeń, do której może się z powrotem nalać, a nalewa się właśnie z tego systemu. I tutaj nawet dr Keshe mówi, że ten system oddaje, można powiedzieć, daje tyle, ile jemu samemu się daje, i właśnie w takim warunku operuje. I wracając do tego rozwiązania, o którym mówiliśmy, czyli poprzez właśnie kolektywną duszę ludzkości, jeśli ona będzie silniejsza, to może stworzyć, silniejsza od duszy tej planety, to może stworzyć właśnie taki warunek, w którym balansuje, zmienia tą duszę tej planety w tym właściwym kierunku, można powiedzieć. Niekoniecznie kierunek musi być właściwy, on będzie takim kierunkiem, jaki można powiedzieć narzuci ta zbiorowa dusza, bo tutaj też mówiliśmy o magnesach. Zresztą dr Keshe sam mówił, ja zmienię pozycję, to inni muszą też się do tego odnieść. To było mówione w kontekście chociażby sprzedawania tych jednostek balansujących tej firmy, markę i jeszcze różnych innych rzeczy, które obecnie dzieją się w fundacji, więc każdy ten ruch na tej szachownicy powoduje, że każdy z kolejnych magnesów na tej planszy musi się do tego odnieść, do tego dostosować, więc widzimy tutaj jeszcze kolejny wątek, który równolegle jest tłumaczony, i dlatego jeśli chodzi właśnie o rozwiązanie, jak wyprostować, naprawić to, co jest w pewnym sensie skrzywione, czy niepoprawne, jeśli spojrzymy właśnie na duszę tej planety, to można to zrobić z pozycji wspólnego mianownika, czyli to nie jest tak, że ktoś sobie może tutaj przyjść, przylecieć. Często myślę, że spotykamy się z różnego rodzaju opowieściami. Tutaj dr Keshe chyba nawiązywał do reptylianów, czy jakichś innych istot i tak dalej. Jeśli sobie trochę gdzieś tam posłuchamy, czy rozważamy tego typu rzeczy, rewelacje, które są gdzieś tam w innym kontekście omawiane, to widzimy, że żaden z przybyszy nie może zrobić tego za nas, bo żeby być w tej pozycji właśnie silniejszego, słabszego, żeby móc elewować duszę tej planety poprzez właśnie totalność duszy ludzkości, no to musi ona jeszcze operować w tej samej sile pól, w tym musi mieć ten sam wspólny mianownik, dlatego właśnie tylko dusze narodzone na tej planecie mogą ją zmienić, więc tak jakby powiedzieć, że tylko dzieci są w stanie wpłynąć zbiorowo, kolektywnie na swoich rodziców. Tak, i tutaj mieliśmy właśnie to nawiązanie o znalezieniu pozycji. Kiedy jeden magnes się ruszy, to reszta też musi zająć tą pozycję. Ta firma Markray i to, jak banki, inwestorzy muszą się do tego odnieść, rządy firmy, Belgia, czyli też tutaj Belgia, która nie pasuje w ten obrazek fundacji, która tak działa na różnych frontach i wprowadza tą technologię. I myślę, że tutaj takie jest moje zrozumienie, że te 150 000 cena, która jest teraz, to jest, jak to Keshe mówi, daliśmy za darmo, wtedy się tego nie szanuje, więc to jest pewnego rodzaju cena jeszcze jakaś w miarę niska, w miarę przystępna, i w kontekście tego, co tutaj jest tłumaczone, to wydaje się, że to jest właśnie możliwość przede wszystkim dla poszukiwaczy wiedzy, dla tych, którzy chcą być w tej technologii i też nawet zakładać takie centra właśnie, ciężko powiedzieć medyczne, chociaż mogłyby być medyczne, skoro jest tutaj mowa o lekarzach, fizjoterapeutach, czyli ludziach wykwalifikowanych do tego, bo przecież w technologii zawsze mówimy o balansowaniu, a nie leczeniu. I ta cena pozwala, jest w miarę dostępna, tak jak dr Keshe tutaj mówił, są rozwiązania takie, że zachęca wręcz dr Keshe do tego, żeby się zgłaszać do fundacji z jakimikolwiek kwotami. Wiadomo, to było powiedziane, że przy bardzo niskich kwotach no to ciężko to by trzeba było naprawdę wielu ludzi zabrać do kupy, ale przede wszystkim takim preferowanym modelem współpracy przez fundację jest to, żeby wchodzić gdzieś w partnerstwo z innymi osobami, które częściowo mogą to finansować, także z fundacją, która w przypadku braku jakiejś tam części, połowy czy 1/3 tej kwoty staje się partnerem w tej spółce czy w tej oddziale, firmie, jakkolwiek to jest formalnie załatwiane, właśnie po to, żeby wspierać jak największą ilość tych systemów, które mogą działać w polu, można powiedzieć, mogą działać w różnych krajach, pomagać różnym ludziom i też, jeśli rozumiemy tutaj ten warsztat na jeszcze kolejnym poziomie, to widzimy, że ta jednostka, wytłumaczenie tego, co ona robi cały czas jest tutaj wplatana w te rozmowy i rozważania odnośnie duszy, naszej duszy człowieka, czy duszy planety, czy jeszcze kolejnych wymiarów i zrozumienia, więc przede wszystkim jest to wspierane, żeby mogło pomagać jak największej liczbie osób. A wracając do tej ceny, tak jak mówiłem, w miarę wydaje się być jeszcze dostępna, jak już te kwoty zaczynają się zmieniać na 500 000 od 1 stycznia i potem chyba od kwietnia 1 000 000, to tu wyraźnie było wskazanie na to, że takie kwoty, tego rodzaju sprzęt przyciąga uwagę rządów, firm, tych, którzy inwestują w akcje, w obligacje chociażby tej firmy Mercury, którzy oczekują zysku wartości tych akcji w związku z tym, że jest to nowa technologia, która jest wprowadzana, można powiedzieć, za miliony, więc myślę, że to jest jeden sposób zrozumienia tej 3-stopniowej ceny za te urządzenia i tego modelu, który tutaj przez tego szachistę, jak się dowiadujemy, doktora Keshe jest przedstawiany. I tu wracając do tego kontekstu dziedziczenia, tutaj doktor Keshe mówił właśnie, że te pokolenia, kolejne dzieci płacą za grzechy przodków. To było mówione w kontekście Włoch i tego, co tam się stało, ale też widzimy to samo w odniesieniu do Układu Słonecznego, do Ziemi, która stworzyła ten warunek, w którym my żyjemy, gdzie musimy zabijać, konsumować po to, żeby być w stanie wyrównać w jakiś sposób swój balans energetyczny, czyli to skrzywienie, wypaczenie, które gdzieś tam pokolenie po pokoleniu z naszych przodków, można powiedzieć, przechodzi na nas tutaj. Mówiąc o przodkach, mówimy właśnie o tej skali makro, czyli kosmicznej, Układu Słonecznego, planety itd., itd. I właśnie ta obecność w linii krwi, można powiedzieć, danej siły pól, czy danej emocji, tego, co ta dusza zebrała na swojej drodze, poprzez obecność tego w naszej duszy fizyczności, jesteśmy, można powiedzieć, magnesem, znamy tą siłę pól, więc w pewien sposób jesteśmy w stanie przyciągnąć czy zbalansować taką sytuację, jeśli ona pojawi się w naszym środowisku i wtedy mogą pojawić się różnego rodzaju sytuacje, choroby, konflikty czy różnego rodzaju inne zdarzenia. Było też o Alex Bitsach, o Magrawie, gdzie doktor Keshe tłumaczył, że właśnie te urządzenia plazmatyczne pokazują w idealny sposób, jak działa dusza i wykorzystują właśnie sposób tego, w jaki działa dusza do swojej operacji, do swojego działania. Też było odniesienie do tych pytań, że pytania w 80% pytania, które się pojawiają na warsztatach, one są zawsze wypowiadane w tej odpowiedniej chwili, kiedy też ten poziom zrozumienia jest osiągany i te pytania gdzieś to jest forma komunikacji też duszy, która w momencie gotowości nasuwa to pytanie i fizyczność jest w stanie je zadać, w ten sposób wymusić warunek, do którego kolejny magnes, czyli sam doktor Keshe musi się odnieść i w pewien sposób udzielić odpowiedzi na to pytanie, więc tu widzimy jedną formę właśnie tworzenia tej komunikacji, czy tworzenia warunku z jednej strony, gdzie ten warunek musi być zbalansowany poprzez drugą stronę tego, gdzie jest to kierowane. I wracając do tych maszyn, do tych systemów, tutaj doktor Keshe porównuje do kochanków, którzy dają tyle, ile biorą. To jest to, co mówiliśmy wcześniej o tym opróżnianiu szklanki, napełnianiu, ale nie robieniu tego celowo, tylko robieniu tego właśnie z pozycji zrozumienia i tworzenia takiego warunku właśnie poprzez tą pokorę i nie stawiania siebie wyżej, tylko wręcz na odwrót, stawiania siebie w pozycji, w której się daje, w której się służy. Ciekawe też stwierdzenie tutaj, dr Keshe mówi, że ciało ma system kontroli, ciało, dusza, czyli ten taki dwojaki, dualny system pamięci, ma pamięć, posiada pamięć na przykład tej opuszki palca, czy końcówki palca, który możemy gdzieś tam przez przypadek uciąć. To jest nawiązanie do tego pytania, skąd ciało wie, jak zregenerować, jak z powrotem odbudować ten fragment, który straciło, i właśnie ten dualny bank pamięci, czyli pamiętanie tej informacji na poziomie ciała naszego fizycznego i na poziomie właśnie duszy, czyli tych dwóch aspektów, które tutaj poruszaliśmy też w kontekście RNA, dziedziczenia tego wszystkiego po naszych przodkach, i w ten sposób ta informacja istnieje i jest wykorzystywana do tego, żeby nadbudować tą fizyczność. Ale nie tylko fizyczność, bo tak samo mówiliśmy o tych uczynkach, czy tego, co jest przekazywane w naszej linii rodzinnej, i tutaj też myślę, różne kultury mogą to nazywać karmą, czy jakkolwiek inaczej, gdzie w pewien sposób ten balans musi być w którymś momencie wyrównany. I to nieważne, czy w pierwszym, czy w kolejnym pokoleniu. I tutaj dr Keshe też mówi o tym, że właśnie w tych systemach musimy w pewien sposób wstrzelić się w siłę tego banku, tego systemu, banku informacji, czyli właśnie stworzyć warunek, który będzie tym wspólnym mianownikiem między nami a tym systemem. Było też porównanie, idąc w tą skalę makro, czyli duszy Słońca i dusza Ziemi. Te dwa elementy tworzą fizyczność. Przepraszam, bo coś mi się tu włączyło. Okej, dobra, już nie powinno być tego przebicia. Także dusza Słońca, dusza Ziemi, te dwa elementy, które w interakcji ze sobą stworzyły fizyczność tej planety, tak samo dusza nasza, człowieka, totalności, z duszą fizyczności tworzą ten warunek, w którym powstaje fizyczność człowieka, czyli po raz kolejny zderzamy te dwa światy, mikro, makro, wszędzie w plazmie widzimy tą samą interakcję, tą samą zasadę, która prowadzi do kreacji kolejnych elementów. Było też wspomniane w kontekście pytania o tym, skąd te systemy czerpią swoją energię. Tutaj dr Keshe mówił o tym, że otrzymują ją z energii wszechświata, ale myślę, że można to też odnieść do tego, co nastąpiło później, czyli od razu dr Keshe podał przykład tej świeczki, która była taką, można powiedzieć, tylko potwierdzeniem fizyczności, ogrzewała cały basen, ale jej obecność fizyczna nie była do tego potrzebna, i tak samo można powiedzieć, że ten system też może być takim właśnie, w cudzysłowie, placebo, czy taką pigułką, czymś, co fizycznie musimy mieć w ręce, połknąć, żeby mieć świadomość tego, że jest to możliwe, że w ten sposób możemy sobie na przykład pomóc, i tutaj dr Keshe w pewien sposób rzucił taki lekki znak zapytania, czy taką wskazówkę w tym kierunku, że w zasadzie, patrząc też na magrawy, na te alekspicy, na przestrzeni, na szerokości całej tego warsztatu, mamy te elementy, te puzzle, dzięki którym można robić to, wykonywać to działanie, tą robotę, którą spełnia ten system, tylko i wyłącznie poprzez zrozumienie funkcjonowania naszych elementów naszego ciała, duszy, człowieka, duszy, fizyczności, i tego, jak możemy tworzyć warunek, w którym będziemy karmić siebie nie z systemu, tylko właśnie ze swojej własnej duszy, czy chociażby, tak jak mieliśmy tutaj nawiązanie do tej energii wszechświata. Zresztą następne pytanie było o promienie kosmiczne i dr Keshe tutaj wyjaśniał, że te promienie kosmiczne są całością pól wszechświata i chociażby z części takiego promienia powstała nasza dusza i jeśli to rozumiemy, to jesteśmy w stanie też, jak to często dr Keshe mówi, podłączyć się do tej uniwersalnej energii i czerpać z niej, tak jak ta cebula, jesteśmy w stanie czerpać w różnej sile pól. W zasadzie mamy do wyboru cały wachlarz tego, co taki promień oferuje, więc jest tylko kwestia świadomego stworzenia warunku, dopasowania się do odpowiedniej siły pól i to jest to samo, co mówiliśmy w kontekście tych systemów, czyli wchodząc do nich też tworzymy warunek, opróżniamy szklankę, służymy, dajemy, mamy ten element pokory i wtedy jesteśmy w stanie tą szklankę z powrotem napełnić, więc widzimy, że wytłumaczenie tego, w jaki sposób jesteśmy w stanie się karmić, wchodzić w interakcję z tym, co jest wokół nas dostępne. Mówię o tych, nawiązuję do tych promieni kosmicznych, tak samo w zasadzie ta sama sztuczka dzieje się w tym systemie balansującym ciało, który jest tutaj szeroko omawiany i prezentowany. Arizona, tutaj też było nawiązanie do tego, że te systemy, sprzedaż tych systemów finansuje to, co przez lata poszukiwacze wiedzy nie byli w stanie sfinansować. Zresztą dr Keshe jeszcze do tego będzie chyba nawiązywał w kolejnych warsztatach, gdzie mówił właśnie, że z tych dotacji, z tego, jak poszukiwacze wiedzy wspierają fundację, no nie jest w stanie za bardzo niczego zbudować, struktury, która by wspierała właśnie jednoczenie się tej duszy ludzkości, wznoszenie, elewowanie zrozumienia i tworzenie takiej pozycji, w której jesteśmy w stanie zbalansować duszę tej planety, więc te systemy też spełniają kolejną funkcję, gdzie poprzez ich sprzedaż finansowane jest budowanie kolejnych fabryk, tych parków industrialnych. Kolejny, który był omawiany, to był ten w Arizonie, który ma być na życzenie ekipy, która tam będzie pracować, żeby był on właśnie w kształcie statku kosmicznego. Tu mieliśmy też nawiązanie do tej pozycji elektronu, czy to na przykład w wodorze, czy w plutonie mamy ten sam elektron, gdzieś tam powiązany, spontany ze swoim protonem i czasami zajmuje miejsce na przykład na pierwszej powłodze, czasami tak jak w plutonie może ten elektron znajdować się na którejkolwiek z tych powłok, które są dostępne, więc w pewien sposób ten sam elektron musi zaakceptować swoją różną pozycję, która raz jest bliżej, raz jest dalej, raz jest na tej totalnie zewnętrznej, raz na tej bardzo blisko środka warstwie tej cebuli. Jeśli porównamy to, wrócimy z powrotem do tego porównania, do tego przykładu. I tak samo to tutaj było, tak przynajmniej to odebrałem, było nawiązaniem też do tego warunku słabszego, do tego opróżnienia szklanki, do tego warunku bycia pokornym, w którym jesteśmy w stanie właśnie zaakceptować swoją pozycję, jakakolwiek ona by nie była w tej całej, można powiedzieć, matrycy, w tej całej układance, w tej całej strukturze, w której się znajdujemy. I te nauczania są właśnie po to, żeby dać nam, jak tutaj dr Keshe mówi, dać nam wybór miejsca i czasu dla tej fizyczności, a nie czekania na ten moment separacji, kiedy to jest w pewien sposób z góry zdeterminowane. To zrozumienie bycia całością, czyli to do czego tutaj dążymy, do wznoszenia, elewowania naszego zrozumienia, żeby właśnie poprzez totalność naszych duszy zbalansować tą duszę tej planety. To zrozumienie bycia całości daje też kolejny, można powiedzieć, bonus czy konsekwencje tego wszystkiego, bo zdając sobie sprawę, że jesteśmy częścią całości, to nie krzywdzimy innych, bo po pierwsze, tak jak tu było tłumaczone, w pewien sposób nasze pokolenie, czy ta nasza grupa, z którą jesteśmy związani, której jesteśmy częścią tej totalności, oni będą za to płacić, oni będą za to, będą musieli zbalansować ten warunek, te magnesy będą musiały się odnieść do tego, co się na tej planszy wydarzyło i to jest chociażby jeden aspekt zrozumienia tego, czemu nie krzywdzisz nie tylko swoich, ale też tych, którzy są gdzieś tam w innej sile pól, czy w innym mianowniku, ale nie w mianowniku takim, który jest wspólny dla nas, więc tu nie ma znaczenia, czy odnosimy się do tych naszych, czy tych waszych, jak można to powiedzieć, na obu poziomach gdzieś ten magnes, ta pozycja, która jest nowa, stawiana, musi być zbalansowana przez całą resztę. I to w zasadzie wszystko, także z mojej strony dziękuję dzisiaj za ten jakże wspaniały i dość długi warsztat mocno napakowanej, gęstej wiedzy prosto od doktora Keszego i oczywiście zapraszam na niedzielę na tą samą godzinę, będziemy oglądać 301 warsztat. Jeśli ktoś ma coś do dodania, to zapraszam, jeśli nie, to powoli będę przygotowywał wideo i na dzisiaj kończymy. Dzięki.
Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie. Nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów. Dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas, czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy i musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto, co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom. To jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz. Że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej. By być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka. który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni, nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces.